Hey guys, so this is the last part of the interview with the guys at Bolt Guitars UK. They're going about uh, their views on how other people do guitar kits and how theirs is different, how the parts that are put in together might be sold separately or not, and it as well sort of support that they offer. As we know, anyone can sell a product, not everyone can support a customer once something goes wrong, right? That's the biggest challenge in any business, and that we face in everything. Like you buy a guitar and it's like not great, and like I need to take it to a luthier or something. So they explain how they deal with it, and they share with us their goals for the future, and I really enjoy having got this conversation with them. I really appreciate the time that they gave me, and I hope these videos here on YouTube help the audience understand what Bolt Guitars UK is about and who are the people behind the brand and the product, and help you decide whether or not you want to participate in this movement, to belong to this community, this cult. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.
Well, the guitar kits, what a lot of people don't realise is that guitar kits as an entity sell more than any one model of guitar.
All right.
So it's a very, very popular thing. And these people are selling guitar kits, thousands and thousands of them, each and every month in this country and around the world. And those people, what they are essentially doing is they are selling off factory. So the factory makes those guitar kits, OEM. So they're engineered by
Squires and
well, I mean, I'm talking about guitar kits,
like all these brands that have.
I mean, Epiphones and the entry level guitars, they still have an assembly process. And they still go through some sort of quality control, whereas guitar kits don't have to go through that process.
Sometimes necks don't match with bodies, sometimes the electronics don't work.
Exactly. Yeah. And so what happens is these all go through they'll be routing out 5 different bodies at a time. There's an assembly line that puts these things together, and you might place an order with a company in the UK, and that order is fulfilled in China or India or somewhere else, and it ships straight to your door. It never touches
drop shipping sort of thing.
It's a drop shipping, exactly right, but it never touches no luthier or guitar builder even glances it over, So the end user picks that up, and the last person that's touched it is whoever's picked it in the factory, wherever it was. So that's another reason why I'm saying what we're doing is we're not selling those things. That's why they are a quarter of the price of ours. Each one of our kits, Martin himself sets it up. We match the necks so that they fit the body perfectly. Yeah. Absolutely every single one of them's got the strictest quality control, and as such we limit the amount of stock that we sell. So even if we were to become considerably more popular than we are today, we have a limit of the amount of guitars that we're going to sell, and we're not going to sell any more because we don't want to offer a subpar product.
It's compromising, isn't it? We're not a company selling guitar kits. It is the whole experience, and with us, it's something to be enjoyed, and the fact of the satisfaction that you get at the end of it. This is something that you've built yourself. And there's no greater satisfaction than that. We want to broaden the range, and we want to broaden people's choice as well. We've talked about other configurations of kind of pickups and choices there, P90s or single coils or humbuckers or combinations of all of the above. I mean, I'll let you speak more on that.
Yeah, we chose a T-type guitar because it's the first kind of guitar that was production made. So a lot of the solutions are already there. and it's not as complicated a thing to put together as maybe a S-type with a tremolo arm, or you don't want to get into Floyd Rose floating bridges and things with your first build. And so you've just got simple pickups as well. There's not even humbuckers to worry about. There's so many things to if you wanted to, you could worry about it. What pots to put in, what kind of impedance they should have, how many ohms. It goes a simple approach so that you can enjoy building it, and you've got something you can play, and there's not too many things to tweak. But yeah, in the future, we want to definitely go for the more complicated builds.
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, the first thing that we're looking to do is to sell our colour system. We're very close to bringing that out on the market. Everything that we sort of have, the individual parts, I think there will be a time when we will offer things, probably pickups. As far as bodies and necks and those sorts of things, I'm not quite sure that that's the way that we'll go. I think what I would like to sort of, and what we've spoken about, is having a completely configurable setup. So you'd choose a body, you'd choose a neck, you'd choose essentially the headstock style, you'd choose what fingerboard you had, you'd choose what configuration of pickups you could have, so you could be really a lot more creative. So you're not building a T style or an S style, you're literally building whatever it is that you want. So you could have that neck on an offset body, for example, or you might have a squarish headstock,
or a roasted maple neck with a rosewood fretboard.
So so you could have any number of configurations. So for example, when we're looking at the S-type guitar, we're looking at having like a universal cavity. So if you took the scratch plate off this, you'd see a cavity for the neck pickup, a cavity for the bridge pickup, and you'd see a little channel that leads for the wiring. So really, if you wanted to make it into like a Nashville style or something like that, there's not the freedom to be able to do that. What we're looking to do with the S-type is essentially create a bit of a swimming pool under the scratch plate.
Big old cavity.
So that essentially, you can
even put active pickups.
Exactly. Whatever you want to do. Yeah. And it's just what we've got to work out is how that fits into our anyone can build guitars thing.
Yeah.
And it might be that there's a way of building the course like there is building the guitar. We've got to come up with idea.
The in terms of the course and the ethos, like we were talking about the DIY ethos and things like that. Our course is effectively we have our finish, and the way that Martin puts it together it will get you that result. Yeah, you'll get a guitar that plays, feels, looks great, and we want people to be inspired and feel confident in the fact of, I can do these things and I can put this together and it's still going to sound and feel and look and play great.
That's the thing. Yeah, because there are still headaches to have. Even if you've just done the colour, you've like, pick the stuff. Yeah. But if the kit is all there, it's all there for you. You've not got that to worry about, and you can just enjoy the building of it.
Yeah, the holes don't come. The holes don't come pre-drilled, and the cavities are in the regulation place, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we've done is just altered the shape of the pick guard, because we came up with this idea because we thought that anyone could build guitar, and we wanted to give people who are wanting to get into guitar building an opportunity to build a guitar, not have to start with a rubbish guitar. They could build a really good guitar right off the bat. So what we do is we offer what we call project lifetime support. So when you sign into your account, there is a link to our Facebook group, but we're all three of us very active on that group. there is a support at Bolt Guitars email, and essentially what we do is we say, look, for as long as it takes you to build this guitar, we will support you in it. So if you're having any issues, then we do that. We also have a live chat as well on that group, so people can, you know, just go into Messenger and they can speak to us, and we pick those messages up quickly. We have had really, really good feedback, and I'm not just saying that. We have had really, really good feedback. I think the only issue, there was one guy who had a bit of an issue with the finish. I think he was saying that some of the varnish was taking some of the dye off. We experimented for a long time, for weeks, trying to perfect this system. Well, yeah, I mean, it took us a long, long time to develop it, but even once we developed it, we needed to figure out the best way to apply it.
Foolproof method. Yeah.
If you follow the instructions to the letter, there are absolutely, you know, no issues with it. You can be a bit more experimental if you want, but ultimately, if you don't leave it long enough to cure, or if for some reason something stops it from hardening, say it's a particularly moist environment or something like that, then if you put the varnish onto the wet dye, there is a chance that it'll come off. But, you know, the feedback that, you know, we got, he was very, like, genuine in saying, look, I know this is probably me. I know that there's nothing wrong with the product. And you know, and our response was, look, we want this to be perfect, you know, like, you know, if you're not over the moon with your guitar, then we've got to sort that out, you know. So we said, look, sand it all back, start again, and if you need more dye, we'll ship that out to you at no additional cost.
And this is true because I saw this conversation.
You saw this conversation, yeah. So that's the sort of level of support. It's like when we were sourcing all of these materials, when we were looking at these dyes, the person who created these dyes is a guy called Littlefairs, who's an absolute, like, woodworking genius. And he runs a very large company doing wood finishing products. He was so passionate about the project that he developed it. You know, I think he said it took him 6 days to create the formula for these dyes. It's very, very unique, very, very, like, sort of, I'm aware we've been talking a lot about the dyes, but I think that's probably the bit that people would sort of have an issue with. But if you follow the instructions, it really is the simplest process.
I mean, because I've seen the brand Littlefairs before on, like, Savoy Timber, and when I saw that you were using it, I was like, why these dyes in particular? So it's really interesting.
They're from Blackburn.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Yes. And
Local.
also, it's a special formula. It's not just the...
No, they don't
These
sell
are,
it. You know.
no, yeah, these are bespoke
Yeah.
to us. Yeah, two Bolt guitars.
The colour and everything.
Mhm.
I mean, on the kind of support, I just wanted to touch on, you know, it's not, these aren't flat pack guitars. It's not IKEA. You know what I mean? You are doing the work. You are doing the craft. It can go wrong, you know, but we address everything that can go wrong within the course.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's a delicate thing. It's a finite thing. You know, you are doing craftsmanship, and a big part of craftsmanship is making the mistakes and knowing how to rectify them, you know, knowing how to get back to the point. So it's not, and, you know, and in terms of support, yes, you know, we offer the project long lifetime support. But, you know, we're lovers of guitars as well, you know.
Yeah, we'll talk your ear off.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you want to come and chat about your build, you know, you want to get involved in the group, it's anyone can build guitars on Facebook. Come in, you know, talk to us about your builds.
Yeah, you don't have to talk to us like...
Yeah, most posts aren't even about the brand.
No, we're not. We didn't create the group for the purpose of Bolt guitars, you know, and you know, and the way that we look at it, it's so, you know, take for example this one instance where this guy's had an issue with his finish. There are X amount of others, you know, that I've had absolutely no cause for getting in contact whatsoever. And so it's really easy for us to be able to pay that extra attention to that because we've been so careful in thinking this through, and every single person that receives these kits is really, really overwhelmed by how sort of well thought out it is. It took us probably 18 months to develop this.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So we've been back and forth with manufacturers to make sure, because we know where the pitfalls are, so that we get people over those hurdles. It's not to say that it's impossible to it's not to say that nobody's going to have a problem, should I say, but it does free us up to be able to give that extra special support to the people that might come across something.
Exactly. If the kits were full of errors and mistakes and problems, you'd be inundated.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a headache for us.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you see, it started out. You mentioned time before, and it's very, very true. Given enough time, when we approach manufacturers, not just for the dies, but for every single component on the guitar, we said we want the best product. And they were like, well, this is the cheapest. And we said, look, let's talk about money later. We want the best product that you can make. Because we didn't say we want to put a guitar out for however much it is that we've got it online for. What we did is we said, look, we're going to get these kits. We're going to work out what we need to make it happen. And that's the price that it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. It's not the race to the bottom.
Yeah, we didn't. No, absolutely not.
That's it.
We didn't think that we didn't have a price in mind. Well, we sort of had a price in mind, but we weren't aiming for that. We've always said the cost of it will be the cost of it. It's more important to be able to deliver a quality product that people gain enjoyment out of. We don't want to work with unhappy customers. And we want to change this sort of arena where, people who want to get involved in this stuff, it's a fraught issue.
They feel like they can't. They feel like they can't, or you disappointed, or...
Like I said, when we were researching, the best review that I saw was, well, it only cost me 180 quid. What can you really expect? That was the best review.
It annoys me to know when that sort of thing's like, but you've bought something with a purpose.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you just spent money.
Exactly.
Well, then you spent money, wasted time, and you got frustrated in the end. You got some wood, and that's it. And then after the exact same amount of money spent on other things, you're able to eventually to get a guitar that now you look at it and frustrates you.
Yeah. It's like you get PTSD from looking at it.
And that you can't sell because, as everyone knows, if it doesn't say certain brand on the headstock, it becomes really complicated.
Well, this is it.
Unless things get known to being quality.
Yeah.
And then in that case, it becomes sort of...
Well, I mean, there's always the future, isn't there? And there is residual value in the component parts of the guitar. When we first created this blonde one here was the first one that we ever created. And when we made that, we took it around to people because, like we said before, we've been in bands and stuff.
Yeah,
we took it to people that we know that work in this industry and just said, we didn't say, we didn't know that this was a guitar that we made. We went for independent valuations, and those independent valuations were considerably more than the cost of the kit that we're offering. Yeah. Because the component parts, the quality of wood, the finish, and when you get into the studio and you hear that neck pickup, it sounds like a boutique guitar. It feels and plays like a boutique guitar, and anybody can build it.
No, and I mean, like, when you get a reaction, like, I mean, kind of cost and all of those monetary things aside, when we've put so much of ourselves into this thing, and you hand it to someone who does know their onions, they know guitars, they play guitars for years, and they go, wow, that is
Yeah,
you know,
that was a real wow moment.
yeah, but
because we all play guitars, that there's some points that we pick up something and it's like, oh, this is special.
Yeah,
it's all your Christmases at once.
Yeah,
and that's what we want to give that to the customer and say, look, have pleasure all the way through. Don't worry about what pickup goes in it. You don't have to decide that. What kind of finish you're going to buy. You don't have to decide that. You can just get the kit and make it as it is. Or if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you can. There's
open. The possibilities are open,
but at
endless.
least you start with a guitar that you know is going to work, and you're not running around looking for things. That's the main thing. That's what ruins the experience.
Definitely.
And the secretiveness.
Yeah, and it's like it becomes like you start throwing good money after bad. I know I've done that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, where you start. Oh, I've got this idea and I want to create like a Tom DeLonge Strat or something. So I'm going to take this 3-single coil. I'm going to put one like fat pickup right on the bridge, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, and they're like, oh yeah, but now what am I going to do about volume? Volume pot's not going to hold that.
Yeah, what kind of capacity do I need?
And then, I'm going to have to route this out, and oh no, like all of these screw holes don't match, and
toothpick. Can I get a toothpick out?
And then you go and have a lie down in a dark room and do something.
I hope that you can tell that we're all very passionate about it, and that really is the most important thing. Is we're putting out a product that we're passionate about, and the most important thing is that people love it, and I'm a big believer that in business, if you do things the right way and you do things that you love, and you can expect good things to happen. So we hope that's the future for us, is that we can build out this range, we can build out this brand, and we can, get involved in lots and more conversations with people about their guitar builds, and we can all nerd out together.
And we can play them as well.
Yeah.
Sitting around playing guitars.
Some of the mysticism away of how to make a guitar place now.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we want to do. Yeah.